for Missouri Gateway Green Building Council.
Thank you so much. And I'm Leslie Moylan, the co-director of the Missouri Environmental Education Association. And we coordinate green schools with the Green Building Council. And I'm thrilled just to let you guys know that since we met last year, Deborah is new with GBC, and she's working full-time. It's a full-time position now. So that's a big congrats, very exciting. And it's just a great partnership with them. So just wanted to thank Deborah. She's kind of the point person for our schools now, which is going to free me up to do a lot more with the partner network. So it's just a very exciting time. So glad to tell you more about that today. And I'll pass it to Brian, our other host.
Hello, I'm Brian Nicodeme. I'm a retired middle school and high school teacher, and I've been a Quest participant and a Quest mentor the last 2 or 3 years. And I'm one of the co-chairs of the Green School Committee. Tori?
Morning, everyone. I am Tori Cheatham, and I work for a nonprofit, a clean energy nonprofit called Renew Missouri. And I also co-chair with Brian on the Show Me Green Schools Committee. And I will be running IT for this, so if anyone has any questions, please put it in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, and it was funny because both Tori and Brian, these aren't part of the official duties of being co-chairs, but they were the 2 volunteers from the committee that stepped up to help plan this meeting. So big thank you to them for helping Deborah and I get this rolling today. So, and like I said at the beginning, if you can put your name and organization and role and title in the chat, but also if you want to share any of your past involvement or current interest in Show Me Green Schools, feel free to share that because we will definitely be looking through these notes after the meeting for sure. So next slide, Tori. So just a quick rundown of today's agenda. We're going to go through just an introduction for those of you that are new to Show Me Green Schools. It's a suite of 3 programs. So we just kind of want to give you a quick and dirty rundown on those and share with you what's new in 2024. So that'll be of interest to everybody, even if you're well seasoned with this with us. And then we want to just share the bulk of this meeting is really going to be about hearing from partners and hearing from us about what our current needs are and some of the best ways that you can help get involved as a partner. And then finally, we will have some time for you all to have some more action in this meeting. We're going to have a reflection and closing where we're going to have a poll and also some time for folks to just share out their thoughts that are bubbling up from the time we spent together today. So with that, I am going to pass the baton to Deborah to get us started.
All right. Well, like Leslie said, I'm new, so any mistakes that are made today, just blame on my very small amount of time in this position. And I am a former educator. I came from St. Louis Public Schools. I was a teacher for 7 years and then an administrator for 6 years. And so now I've taken on this position last December and am finishing up my first year here, and it's been an awesome transition. So just a brief overview and an introduction to Show Me Green Schools for those of us who are new today. Show Me Green Schools is really an umbrella term for the 3 programs that we run. We run the applications for the U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Award. And we also run a Missouri and Southern Illinois program called Missouri Green Schools. And then we have our Green Schools Quest, which is more of an entry program. We're going to go through each of these programs so that you understand kind of what we're supporting. But first, I want to kind of discuss what it actually means to be a green school if you're new to school sustainability. Next slide, please, Tori. All right, so these 3 pillars of a green school really are kind of our shining beacon of hope, basically, for all 3 of our programs are really based on this. Green schools strive to reduce environmental impact and costs, to improve the health and wellness of our students and staff, and even the whole community, theoretically, and increase sustainability literacy. These 3 pillars are really becoming a common definition for the term green school, both internationally and globally. But for sure, in our programs, this is what we focus on. Next slide, please. In each of these categories, environmental impact, health and wellness, and sustainability literacy, there's a lot of different elements that go into each one. I will not read each of these to you, but you can see noted here all of these different areas. And each of these areas represent part of what you guys do and your work. So some of you on this call might be from more of a physical health standpoint. We have quite a few partners who work in children's health or student health and wellness through the School Nurses Association. Or you might be on more of the scientific side and you're working much more, technically, and you're working on specific things within sustainability. Most likely your work touches one or more of these pillars, and many of these are extremely connected, especially in schools where schools are becoming all things to all families. Go ahead, next slide. So this suite of programs really is focused on providing structure, resources, and recognition for all Missouri and Southern Illinois preschool through 12th grade schools to become a green school. And it really doesn't matter their starting place. This is really important for us. We do not mind if a school says, you know what, we don't actually even know what school sustainability is. Or if a school comes to us and says, we've been practicing school sustainability for years and years, and we want to fine tune this one specific aspect. The goal for our program is to make sure that every school and every school leader feels welcome and able to make a difference in their community. So our program has been around for more than a decade, and we have been supporting schools in advancing sustainability in an incredible number of ways. And the entry point of schools is really the Green Schools Quest. So this is kind of for our beginning schools, this is where they start. So I'm going to go through a bit about what this program is. Next slide, please. Green Schools Quest launched in 2013, so we've been around for more than a decade, which is really exciting. It's an annual challenge, and it starts every year for preschool through 12th grade, and it's really meant to allow student-driven sustainability projects over the course of 6 months with the help of a mentor to impact their school community and their local and regional community. Schools document their impact during the project and they submit their process and impact for judging by an impartial judge at the conclusion. Some of our judges are actually on the call today, so cheers to you. Our judges come from all over the country and they are people who are experts in their own fields, but really understand what school sustainability is all about. The judges determine winners, and cash awards and trophies are presented to the winning teams in elementary, middle, and high school divisions. Next slide. So this is one of my favorite slides because these are all from last year's projects. So these are real students in Missouri and Southern Illinois who are really digging deep into sustainability projects. So some of these green school projects are about various things. I mean, we can cover a lot. School sustainability can mean many things, such as constructing and renovating outdoor learning spaces, planting a native pollinator garden, addressing food deserts through aeroponic tower gardens, recycling and minimizing waste, analyzing and improving indoor air quality, tracking water and energy consumption with the goal of conserving resources, and educating the school community on sustainability practices and career opportunities. In the 2023-2024 school year, 67 schools submitted a final project, and every school was paired with a mentor. Winners were celebrated in May at a regional event at University City High School with over 250 people attending. Since 2013, 210 schools have participated in the Green Schools Quest, impacting over 32,000 students and staff across Missouri and Southern Illinois. Next slide. After the Quest, we really encourage our schools to enter our next program suite, the Missouri Green Schools. Now, whereas the Green Schools Quest is really meant for a one-time project that's going to take place over the course of 1 year, Missouri Green Schools is a much longer-term project. Schools who want to pursue whole school sustainability on a broader scale, this is really beyond the Quest projects. Schools can enroll in MGS at any time, which is, I think, really great. As a former administrator, I often missed a deadline or two, especially at the beginning of the school year. So this is a really great program that's a rolling admissions basis. And the program is really intended to be self-guided. So it really is quite accommodating to a school schedule. The program is really well supported, particularly for schools that have more than 60% of students qualifying for free and reduced lunch. They receive one-to-one support on how they can achieve their sustainability goals, particularly financially. As a principal of a Title I school with 100% free and reduced lunch, students, I really desperately needed support. My annual budget was extremely small, and I didn't know how to achieve anything with no money. So the Missouri Green Schools program really provided quite a bit of support to navigate this program. Our program structure supports growth through this continuous loop of tracking and advancing sustainability practices, ultimately cultivating a culture of sustainability at the school. And really, this is a holistic program. So it's ideally intended for a diverse group of stakeholders. We don't want all schools to look alike. We don't want all students to look alike. We don't want this to be just urban, just rural, just suburban. This is a wide array of people who are involved. And every year we offer recognition for schools to really celebrate their achievements, because some of these projects that they are taking on are incredible and extremely involved, and they deserve to be recognized. So let's go to the next slide and talk about our levels of achievement. Our participating schools are honored at emerging, progressing, and advanced levels for their achievements, with a range that celebrates schools taking their first steps all the way to schools working comprehensively across all of the pillars of a green school. The criteria for each level are based upon best practices that are intentionally scaffolded to lead a school towards long-term whole school sustainability. In the 2023-2024 school year, there were 8 sprouts, 5 seedlings, and 5 saplings. So our participants are all at these different levels, and each year they will theoretically move up. And if they're not ready for that year to move up, then they can always take a little bit longer. Let's go to the next slide. In order to get from level to level, we use a very advanced tracking tool called START. And participating Missouri Green Schools are provided with access to this database, which honestly is an incredible and magical tool. And it's shocking that they get access to this through this program. And it really helps guide and track their ongoing achievements across 50 different metrics, which sounds overwhelming, but really it's up to the schools to determine which metrics they want to focus on at which times. So it's meant to provide a wide array of ideas, metrics, things to look at, school sustainability measures that they could put in place, and then they choose specific things that they would like to focus on each year. Let's go to the next one. The metrics are really also helpful because it can help schools identify and generate ideas for their school. Some schools might come to us and say, I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know what school sustainability really can look like. And the START tool allows, through these different how-to guides, they provide resources for schools, and they expand the school's goals to really include individual metrics and give them ideas of ways to improve. This area is where we see a lot of opportunity for partners like yourself to join us in creating even more how-to guides. Right now, we really have specific ones for specific topics. For example, on the screen here, you can see we have how to improve indoor air quality. So a school who's interested in IAQ might say, great, that's exactly what we are looking for. But a school who says, well, actually, we don't need that right now, or we're not ready to talk about IAQ and the HVAC system. We want to look at more of landscaping. We want to go to, rainscaping. We want to do a native pollinator garden. How do we do that? And if we don't have the how-to guides, we really feel like we're kind of picking and choosing things from various resources. And we'd like everything to be centered into this one START tool so that schools have a very easy one-stop shop to get what they need. So like I said, we see a lot of opportunity here for partner interaction. Let's go to the next program. Our final program is the U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Award, which I can say with great pride, my school won my last year as a principal there after a lot of hard work. It's a very challenging award to achieve, but through the program, the Show Me Green School suite of programs, and the support that we received, it's possible. So we partner with the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and thank you to those of you who are from DESE on the call. We really need you, and we love our partnership with you. We partner with DESE to manage the U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Award program within the state of Missouri. This is a one-time and national recognition demonstrated excellence and innovation in school sustainability across all three pillars of a green school. Each state is limited to 5 nominations per year, and we try and really focus on schools that need our support, but also who are doing the work and need this recognition because they've done some incredible things. Let's take a look at the winners in the past of Missouri. There have been 21 schools that have been nominated and won. We really do not nominate a school until they are ready to be nominated because we know this process is long and challenging. And so if a school is not ready, we really work with them to get them ready so that they can win. The nomination in of itself is an honor, but winning the award is even more fun. So 21 schools in Missouri have won this, and you can see all of those schools if you're curious of which school district those are in. Those are listed after the school name. Each of these schools and districts serve as an example of what's possible. And we constantly go back to these schools to say, hey, can you be a model for X, Y, and Z? Can you mentor another school who's interested in doing what you did? And it's really, it's quite special. So as a proud former principal of Patrick Henry in St. Louis Public Schools, in 2023, we won the award, and I currently live in University School District, so University City. So I'm really overly sustainably proud, if that's a thing. So congrats to all of our winners. We can go on to the next slide, and I'm going to toss it back to Leslie at this time.
Thank you so much, Deborah. That was really exciting. It's been nice to have your fresh eyes, and that was really apparent today. That was a great explanation of the programs and just kind of where we're at today. So yeah, now I want to just really kind of hone in on our partner network and where we're at right now. You know, we were established to help connect schools with resources from across the state. And so next slide. Thank you, Tori. I want to just give you a little bit of history, thinking about 5 years ago in 2019, this was just barely an idea, you know, this partner network. And there's something kind of magical, I think, about 5-year mark. It's happened multiple times, the momentum that comes in 5 years. But, you know, since 2019, we had some really great foundational meetings where many of you on this call were there. Shout out to our early adopters for sure. In 2020, 21, we developed our partner survey and then launched a searchable database. So again, helping our schools access the organizations that are in their area and the resources that you all have to offer. In 2023, we developed this umbrella that brought all 3 of the organizations together and kind of brought you all into that fold as a Show Me Green Schools partner rather than a Missouri Green Schools partner. And that transition has been great. I think it's been amazing to be able to, on my end of things, not having been part of the generation of the Green Schools Quest, having the Quest officially together with the other 2 programs is really phenomenal. It's just a much easier sell. It's our starter program, right? It's a lot of a smaller lift for schools. So I'm loving being able to officially just promote that left and right. And that's a great opportunity for you all as well. And then, you know, this past year together, this was kind of our first big accomplishment as a group. The resolution that we developed for the Conservation Federation of Missouri last year with you all was adopted in March of this year. And it's really amazing because that document guides the advocacy policy. That's one of the, you know, their markers, like we can advocate for green schools when it becomes an issue at the state capitol. So the more we can raise awareness about this program together is another, you know, way of supporting the partner network. And over the last year, we've gained so much clarity on how this network can build momentum and support for green schools. And that's really kind of where we're going next. Next slide, please, Tori. So just to show you, to date, we are here at 60 organizations, hovering right around there. I think we've had a couple new ones recently. But yeah, 60 organizations from across the state. We have lots of room to grow still. But I just think it's exciting to see how many people have already jumped on board and are helping us develop. So next slide, please. So in 5 years, we've come such a long way, and we know that our early adopters did not we didn't capture nearly all the perspectives of this current group with what our early adopters were thinking about. But I thought it was a good time to just kind of bring back to the table what those folks were saying, what we heard loud and clear back in 2019, 2020, when we were developing this thing. The most meaningful, building meaningful relationships with schools was paramount. As long as we kept, forward movement was paramount. And I think that we've shown that, and I think that's why our partnership continues to grow. But folks wanted inter-partner collaboration, partnering with one another to support all of us, right, in all of our complementary missions. And it was a big value that we wanted to be able to provide equitable school support and recognition. And we've got programs set up to do that are, fully functional, fully launched at this point. So that is foreseeable that we can do that on a much broader scale and really bring to fruition a statewide awareness of green schools opportunities here in the state, and more schools participating, and more organizations figuring out, oh yeah, I do connect with the vision of green schools in some way. So next slide, please. And I think I'm gonna go back one slide, and then I'm gonna pass it to you, Deborah. Oh, and can I stop you right there, Deborah? Sorry, I am having trouble reading my notes and talking at the same time today. But I just wanted to ask people, this would be a great time if you want to wait and share ideas that you have for, what we can do as a partner network. Please put it in the chat or wait until the popcorn style opportunity. But I just want to put a little bug in your ear that, one thing that we could possibly do this year together is fill those 5 nominations for Green Ribbon collectively, like Green Building Council, Desi, Mia. We can't do it alone, but we could definitely do it with the group of people that are here. So just putting that bug in your ear.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Leslie. That's a really good point also. Please utilize the chat, especially as we talk about these ways that we need your support and we need you to be involved. There's lots of other ways to be involved also. So if you have other ideas, toss them in the chat. For now, I'm going to go through 4 main needs that we have. And I'll go through each of these in greater depth, but this is a great opportunity to screenshot just for your reminders, as when, after this meeting, when you're percolating on how you can be involved, come back to this screenshot and really think about, where does my organization fit, or where do I fit as an individual? Thank you, Tori. Thank you. You can actually go to the next slide. We're going to start about how to get involved in the Green Schools Quest. So the first and easiest way to approach the Green Schools Quest is to become a Green Schools mentor. So I wanted to kind of go through what a mentor does and who a mentor can be. Mentors really come from this wide variety of backgrounds. So if you're thinking, I don't know anything about sustainability, you actually probably know much more than you think you do. And a lot of your fields are integrally connected to things that connect to school sustainability. So I'm just going to read a few notes on this. Mentors sign up by August 31st, which the deadline's coming up here. We got about 16 days left, which is wild. And then you're paired with a school by mid-September. We let the schools sign up all the way through mid-September, because if you know anything about schools, good Lord, they are busy right now. So we give them a little bit of grace on their timeline. And then mentors meet with their schools in September, and they try to determine the focus of the project for that particular school year. And usually schools have an overabundance of ideas and usually need a mentor to help tailor those ideas down to one specific thing. Even last year, we had a school that said, I would like to start a recycling club. I would like to compost. I want to do some TerraCycling. And we also were thinking about doing some fast fashion issues. But mentor said, I think that might be too many things. So really helping them focus on one thing in particular. From September through February, mentors meet with their schools on an agreed upon schedule. And it's really up to you and your school about what works for your schedule. If you can give them an hour, a month, great. If you can give them 5 hours a month, fantastic. We don't want to overwhelm our mentors, and schools are also very busy. So making sure that this is a feasible schedule is really key. Most mentors meet with their schools around an hour or two per month. And during February and March, it might be a little bit higher because that's the end of the Quest project. And that's when the schools it's really go time. You're trying to submit your paperwork, you're trying to finalize the project. And that's when the mentor might step up a little bit more. Mentors also, you can help complete the project depending on what the project is. If it's a physical project, sometimes they literally need you to come and help or help find volunteers to help. There might be a little late push right before the judging process, but then in late April or early May, actually this year it'll be in May, mentors are invited to the final celebration with all schools to see the announcement of the winners, which is very fun and exciting. Let's go to the next slide so you can kind of have a visual, but I'm going to pass the mic over here to Brian, who is our committee co-chair, but he's also an active mentor, and he knows exactly what mentors do because he's been doing it for a long time. So Brian, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you chat about what mentorship is all about.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. Being a mentor is really since our focus is on sustainability and all this too, it is so encouraging, amazing to see the excitement that students have around sustainability and taking it, to their school and expanding the idea throughout their community of sustainability. The last project I did ended up having parents come in and so the sustainable practice that the students were pushing got they were doing a native plant garden. Actually, 3 families came in and said, oh, we started our own at home. So it's not only having an impact on schools, but it's having an impact on the community, which is amazing. As a mentor, for me, the school I worked with had a green club, and so they met once a week, and so I would go to probably 2 meetings a month. It was an hour and 10-minute meeting. It's not that big a commitment time-wise. I know other mentors that have met and just spent a lot of time in the schools helping them. But seeing the excitement in the students is incredible. As you go through, you might be helping them narrow down as Deborah said, narrowing down their ideas. You might be providing resources for them. You might be the expert on what they want to do, and you can help them with that. If not, you help connect them to experts that can help them with their work. If you're dealing with high school students, you might be able to have a tour of your building or your business, or have guest speakers from your organization come in and talk. The high school is where you see a lot of stuff that goes out beyond into the community. But I was working in a middle school, and I had parents doing things at home and just spreading the idea of sustainability. It's really an incredible experience to see the students get so excited about their project at the award ceremony in May, and being there, being your mentor there, they will they will celebrate you too. It is a really neat experience. Next slide. So remember, it's only 6 months. We start in September, we're done in May. It is an incredible opportunity to see this grow. And the idea is that from the Quest, the schools will then move into Missouri Green Schools. And the Quest is kind of bottom down, the students kind of pushing things. And then to start off the Missouri Green Schools, the principal has to make a commitment. So it's a little more top down. And so they kind of meet in the middle. It's a really neat program. So how can you get involved? We need about 75 mentors for this year, hopefully more, because we'll have more schools, but we're probably around 75. There are ways to register as a mentor. There is a QR code down there at the bottom that you can do that. You can go to showmegreensschools.org and sign up there. If you're not ready to be a mentor, but you want to be able to maybe help in your area of expertise, you can contact Deborah. Her email's there and phone number. The first year that I did the Quest as a teacher, and so my students were working through it. Our mentor didn't they wanted to do composting, and my mentor wasn't really didn't really know that, but they connected us to I can't remember exactly who it was, but they connected us with someone who actually gave us a grant to be able to get compost tumblers. And so as a mentor, you might not be the expert, but you can connect people to that. Great experience. I highly recommend it. Please sign up. I know some of you on the call are already signed up as mentors, so that's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. And before we go to that next screen, if you want to go back one more. No, actually, don't try and go backwards if it's too difficult. So I was just going to say in the chat, I just tossed in a few extra dates for your reference, especially if you know people who might be interested in becoming a mentor, but who have never heard of this program before. We do have two informational sessions for the Green Schools Quest. One is tonight at 7 p.m. You'll probably get to experience my dog in the background because I'll be at home and he is so loud and intimidating. So that should be really entertaining. And then we also have a call, the exact same informational session will be run on September 9th at 4 o'clock p.m. And those are all virtual. It's all on Zoom and you just have to register so you get the Zoom link. If you can't register, feel free to just email me and I can send you the Zoom link. It's very simple and very easy, but this is a great way for you to be a partner to us by recommending people to become a mentor for the Green Schools Quest. All right, we can switch to the next slide now, Tori. So our second way to get involved as a part of the partner network is to serve as a connector. So the first way was we really desperately need mentors. Every year we will need mentors. The second way is serving as connecting us to schools and other people who could be mentors for the Green Schools Quest. We also desperately would love to know your school who might be a good candidate for Missouri Green Schools. We want to expand that program so much. We need to expand beyond the regions that we have right now, and we want this to be an all-inclusive, full state experience. And we also include Southern Illinois in our territory. Also, I saw that we have our Northern Illinois sisters here with us, so welcome to the Illinois Green Alliance. So mentorship, if it's not for you, and that's perfectly fine. I actually had somebody reach out and said, I don't actually like kids at all, and I don't want to hang out with them. So is there some other way for me to be a mentor without speaking to children? And this is kind of for you. So really helping us find people who are in fields that are related to some aspect of conservation, sustainability, anything to do with the natural world, the environment, anything really connected that we could connect to sustainability. We would love it. And it's honestly hard to quantify how many times we have heard one of my friends dragged me to this event and then I became a mentor, not knowing anything, and then I loved it. And now I've been a mentor for 5 years or 6 years. So we really, really want help recruiting schools. Graphics like these can be found in this link, and we will share this program with you. But this hyperlink 2024-2025 recruitment packet, it has all kinds of graphics that you can share on social media, on LinkedIn, on various platforms, even a simple email that just says, hey, are you interested in a program like this? Because I know that your school is already doing some of this work and you should be recognized for it. So that hyperlink will take you both to promotional texts, promotional images, and sample emails that you can just copy, paste, make it your own. But we have everything hyperlinked also, so that all the registration links are in there. And we would love for you to share that. And then you feel free to share very, very freely my email address. I do not guard that at all. I love to talk to strangers. It's a bizarre habit of mine that I had since I was a child, and I can't seem to shake it. So if you have somebody who might be interested and you just want to introduce me via email to them, feel free. So this is kind of your way to really become a connector for us. And it's a really important part of the partner network. The ways that I'd like to really show you how to be involved is actually hearing from two of our people who are excellent connectors for us. So we can go to the next slide, and I'd like to introduce Jill and Christine. And they have totally different roles and totally different jobs, but they serve the partner network in a similar way. So they have really helped us connect with organizations, schools, mentors, people who are really excited about this work. And I'd like to hear from them. So we're going to hear from Christine first. So Christine, if you want to come off of mute and introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background of how you became this Show Me Green Schools connector.
So first of all, Tori, I'm going to give you a little bit of a challenge here. Do you think you could go back to the slide that shows the 4 ways to be involved? Partner network opportunities for support 01, 02, 03, 04. And if you can find that,
it might be really difficult. I'm just kidding.
All right, if you can find it, that'd be great.
There you go.
So my name is Christine Noby. Many people call me Chris. I am a longtime gifted educator. So I taught in Central Missouri and then in the St. Louis County area, St. Louis City as well. And then after retiring again, I am now at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education as the Director of Gifted Education. And wanted to come back to this slide because as serve as a connector. One of the things, serve as a connector slide again. Stay right there, please. One of the things that you'll notice is this idea of recruiting schools, mentors, connections, introductions, and relationships. So I wanted to talk a little bit just about those ideas there. So first of all, relationships. I got involved because I have known Leslie since she was a child. Her mom and I, she might have been a teenager actually, but her mom and I taught together in Rockwood School District at the Center for Creative Learning. And I was at Leslie's wedding. There were years in there that we didn't see each other because her mom retired. I retired from Rockwood, and I was working then in the city of St. Louis at a charter school, Grand Center Arts Academy. But somehow we got reconnected after I came back to the Department of Elementary Secondary Education. So that was in that 2019-2020 period. And she reached out and asked me to attend the partner network meeting. And I did it because I knew Leslie. That was why I did it. And so that idea of relationships, inviting just the right person to the meeting at the right time is really important. I just wanted to point that one out. And then I got involved because what I thought is, hey, you know what? At the time, this was Missouri Green Schools I did not know about the Quest. Remember, things have changed now, and I love that the Quest is the entry. That is fabulous. But what I thought about when I heard about Missouri Green Schools is that I worked in a gifted program where we put kids to work. We did things, right? And I'm thinking, oh, a lot of gifted educators in the state of Missouri would probably like to participate in Missouri Green Schools. And so I got involved because I thought I could connect Missouri Green Schools to gifted programs all across Missouri and have an opportunity to do so. I was making notes like, oh my gosh, I need to send a reminder on the listserv about the Green School Quest, and as we were talking. So I will be working to get the word out to educators. And then of course, you know what? I was new to my position, and one of my goals is to make sure that everybody in the state of Missouri knows about gifted education. So I have to make connections with other, I know my gifted community. I've been teaching a very long time. But I had to get to know other people outside of the gifted community. And so this is an opportunity to get to know other people. And then by getting to know other people, I can also talk about the importance of gifted education. So, hey, that's why I'm here. And I bet as you were listening, you might be thinking about how you could also connect the people that you know to Missouri Green Schools, or sorry, right now, sorry. I got to work with the new language. Show Me Green Schools. Sorry about that. With Show Me Green Schools. And then you also might be thinking, okay, as I do that, how can I get some of the things I'm passionate about? I see Stan on here, so I know he's passionate about composting. So how can, Stan wants to make connections to get the word out about composting. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. And by the way, I would be thrilled if we actually could nominate and then be successful in getting 5 schools recognized this year as a U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon School. Now it is going to make our communications department work extra hard, but that's okay. We would like to do that. All right, so those are some of my thoughts. If anybody wants to ask me questions, I am open to that if we have time.
Thank you so much, Chris. That's really, really helpful. We're going to put you into the Q&A at the end. So
Okay.
if anybody's listening and has a specific question for Chris, then feel free to add that as well. We're going to toss it over to Jill and hear from Jill's experience as a connector.
Hello, everyone. I always look forward to this annual gathering with so many extraordinary people interested in growing green schools. I work for a solid waste management district in South Central Missouri. Maybe you've been to St. James. My job includes specific aspects listed in the 3 pillars of a green school: proper disposal of hazardous waste, green cleaning, green purchasing, and especially community engagement. For example, our hottest topic this fall is raising awareness in our schools and communities on the proper disposal of lithium batteries, especially those found in vape products. So if you're looking for a resource partner in your area, there are actually 20 waste management districts across our state, and you can visit recyclemo.com to locate your solid waste district. And each district is unique, from grant programs to engaging classrooms, but we all strive to support our community. I was trying to think back in my connections with the program, and I really remember my first connection because it was the recruitment of one of my grantees, Bourbon High School, and they took on a Green Schools Quest project, but they needed a mentor, and I just couldn't do it at the time. So I made an ask for them. She was a young engineer, and her company had just received our annual award for outstanding achievements in solid waste management. She really was not excited at first. She was so nervous, but what a gift I gave her, because I saw her as a fabulous mentor just in my interactions with her. Again, she just was not really accepting, but I encouraged her, and I actually mentored her through her, first couple of months, and then she was in full swing, and the school did a great job. She enjoyed it. So it was one of those happy ever after moments. But with my job, it's those types of connections that just often fall into place. I've referred our grantees to present at MIA's conferences. Each month, I faithfully post MIA's newsletter on multiple Facebook pages, and I frequently forward the newsletter to all of our environmental education people and the science coordinators in our district. We also have an annual Earth Day contest. Maybe you've seen some of our trash art projects on Facebook. And I always promote Show Me Green Schools upcoming events, and especially the annual awardees. So that's one of the ways that I connect and just promote the program. I'm also connected with the Missouri Recycling Association's Earth Day Stewardship Showcase, and you will find that in the database. And we have actually had submissions directly from schools like Herculaneum High School, Flants Learning Center, Sunrise, and DeSoto. And their videos were just fabulous. And it was a great way to promote the program and for people to see what's actually going on in the schools. And then often we've also included in our stewardship case the annual overview of the Green School Quest program. So keep us in mind. It's not too soon to submit. Get those videos to us. So just let it be known that in my mind, the very best connection with the Show Me Green Schools are all the dedicated people involved that are growing green schools. And my standard slogan for social media is, what if every school was a green school? Now, isn't that an exciting thought? So let's make it so. And thank you for providing this venue today for all of us to explore the possibilities of Show Me Green Schools. And I look forward to answering questions later on.
My gosh, Jill, you just gave me chills with your what if every school was a green school. I'm clearly going to steal that. That's awesome.
Recycle it.
Yes. I also would like to point out kind of a mutual benefit between both Chris and Jill and our organizations. We really support each other. So, Chris brought us the idea of the Gifted Conference that's coming up in the fall. We submitted a proposal, and we're now presenting at the Gifted Conference, and we're attending the Gifted Conference, which I think is really important because those relationships are so strong that it's now becoming a two-way street, and that's our goal. We don't want to just ask from you. We want to also support your organizations. And Jill's colleagues actually just attended our latest informational session for the Green Schools Quest. And I was thinking, how do we have more solid waste management folks on here? And obviously it was Jill, because it's just part of the natural vocabulary. But we also get to promote them as an organization. And the Solid Waste Management District of Jefferson County is a huge financial supporter of ours. So it's a two-way street. Many of our schools have taken on recycling projects because of their relationship to the solid waste management organization and districts. It's really impressive and ultimately incredible. I had a mentor who said, my school wants to take on a recycling project, but I thought all schools recycle, don't they? I said, no, it's actually a huge problem that they don't. You think that they do, but they don't. And so really starting with back to basics, and really bringing them into the fold of recycling and composting and TerraCycling and understanding sorting your waste and that kind of thing. So thank you to Jill. Thank you to Chris. That was really insightful and very helpful. Tori, you can move forward a few slides. Now you're going backwards. There we go. Oh, there it was.
There we go. You're there.
Excellent. And we're going to toss it back to Leslie.
Cool. Thank you. I really like how it's kind of emerging that this is really a win-win, because everybody on this call, most likely our missions are very complementary. And so we've talked about getting involved in the quest because it's really darn easy and really darn impactful. A couple of different ways that two people have found benefit in this through their work, and making it a win-win. for instance, Beth Gutzler is on this call, and I know that it's exciting because we're in talks with her. She's with Metropolitan Congregations United, and they do tons of stuff with policy advocacy. And we have an idea that's in its infancy. And I see your face, Beth, so feel free to just unmute and chime in if you would like to, because I think it's, they're helping people learn how to be civically engaged, and they can, we're trying to figure out how they can come in and help our community, both schools and our mentors and partners. How can we help advance changes in school policy, like green cleaning policies and things like that? So that would be, clearly a win for green schools, and it also beautifully meshes with Metropolitan Congregations United's work. And then looking at this slide, you can see what some other ways that you can help. I mentioned earlier our resolution that we got adopted, and like pat on our backs. We all should give ourselves a pat on our backs. The next logical step is for you all to send it to your state representatives and your state senators and your local, municipality government. Send it to them and tell them why you support green schools. And, one of the things we're going to do soon is come up with a letter template for you to help you with that. Send it to your school board in your local community, or to your child's school, your grandchild's school. Send that resolution to them and tell them the same thing. Like, this is really important. Take a minute to read this and support us. I'm sure other ideas are bubbling up, so I would love for you to definitely chime in the chat or here in a few minutes when we start wrapping up. But yeah, serving as an advocate is a really important role, because the more we can get the word out about Show Me Green Schools, the more our momentum can build. And when I was talking earlier, there really is a phenomenon at 5 years, which is about how long this has been around, that things can start to snowball. Look at how many people we have on this call today. We have twice that number that couldn't make it, but are like, I really want the recording. So I think between all of us, it's like 100 of us, that, if we all sent this to our, school board official in our town, or one of our elected officials, what a jump in awareness that would be. So happy to talk to you more about that. I think a lot about networks and network building. So, but then the last point that we want to make, next slide, please, Tori, is like the fourth and final way to get involved is really to help us become solid financially, right? We need funding support to make a sustained and significant impact over time. These programs, you can tell from what Deborah said earlier, they're high touch with our schools. And they require a lot of dedicated personnel to communicate regularly, troubleshoot challenges, connect them with resources and organizations, help them reach their goals, and continually update our programs and materials. So this program costs about $150,000 a year to run. And most of this is allocated to salary support. And we could do more to even support our schools if we could, find a surplus to that. So if your organization might have the capacity to provide funding or dedicated staff time for some aspect of our program, please reach out. These conversations are super important. And I know, we've talked so much about how our missions overlap. And so we already have some folks that, serve as quest mentors as part of their job. We have, people that serve on the Green Schools Committee as part of their job. So I know there's a lot of room for that. So I'd love to talk to you if that's something you're even thinking might be a possibility. Another great way to support is to collaborate with us as a partner on a grant application. And we haven't done that as a Show Me Green Schools entity, but I wanted to share a little bit about a project that we're working on with River City Outdoors, the St. Louis Zoo, and Blueprint for Summer. St. Louis Zoo and River City Outdoors are members of this network. Blueprint for Summer works for out-of-school time providers, so it's a little bit different. But I think this is just a great example of a grant project partnership. And so Laura Sager, you're right on time, you and Chris. I'm going to have Chris go first so you can catch your breath. And then maybe we can come back to this slide when y'all are done. But I just thought it would be cool for them to talk about how this project complements all of our missions. And just a real quick synopsis of the project is, if this project is funded, MIA will provide environmental education for out-of-school time folks. Blueprint for Summer is going to recruit them, provide them with STEM grants if they complete our course. The zoo's providing these outdoor exploration kits, and then River City Outdoors is going to lead water-based experiences for students and staff. So Chris Gedden's here with River City Outdoors, and Laura is here from the St. Louis Zoo to talk about like this particular project and like how it meets all of our missions. So next slide, please, Tori, and I'll pass it to you, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Leslie. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Gedden. I'm the Director of Community Engagement for River City Foundation and the Program Manager for River City Outdoors. I think the cool thing about this project is, you've got multiple providers who do, we can say vastly different things, but the same things in a different manner. But this is really saying River City Outdoors, we know you know about the water. We know you have connections with Big Muddy Adventures. We know you have boats and Forest Park and all this stuff. So for me and our team, I don't have to stretch and change and bend because I'm doing what we already do. And it's with partners that we already partner with naturally. So having multiple partners is always good, but having partners that you work with on multiple levels, multiple grants, multiple programs, and they can speak equally well on your programs as you can speak to theirs, is pretty powerful. As a perfect example is, I just saw Leslie yesterday in my office. It had nothing to do with me, so to speak, but Leslie and I were able to touch base because we see each other. It's that constant contact type of thing. We're always bumping into each other. Therefore, we've gotten to know each other really well. So yeah, I think I'm really excited about the project, and I look forward to doing water safety and getting more people out on the water. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. And Laura, I'll pass it to you, just kind of like how these collaborative projects can really benefit all the orgs.
Yeah, we love this project for so many reasons, but one is that we are getting the teachers who are going to be those force multipliers and be able to reach all the students. We often don't have those right connections, and so we struggle to find the right people who need the funds. So having an organization who has those people ready is huge. Also, summer is such a great opportunity to reach a huge audience who need these informal ed opportunities. And we have programs at the zoo, but like we're maxed, like we can't reach everybody. So, we want to be able to reach a bigger, broader audience. So we have these research-based kits and, and some resources, as well as curriculum that we will share with the team who's putting these on, so that we know that those great messages that are going to help everybody be connected more deeply to the natural world are happening in a space where we just don't have the bandwidth to do anything else, at the zoo. We can spread this out more. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Blueprint for Summer is such a great org. We've worked with them for years at the zoo, marketing our programs and working with our scholarships and all of that. So it's just a great combination of folks working together.
Yeah, so hopefully, thank you both. Hopefully kind of hearing from them and seeing it from, a different organization's perspective, that, as we get to know each other as a group, and as I take on the partner network leadership, because Deborah has stepped in to take the school connection leadership, I can really find out more about each organization's goals and priorities and what's your wish list of projects. And oh my gosh, I just talked to this other partner. I mean, I think the natural way of things, there's going to be things that bubble up that hopefully I can connect that doesn't even make sense for us to do, but because I get to know you all better. So I'm really excited about that. And then Tori, if you could take me back one, because I did forget to talk about two things on that other slide. Okay, so finally, I think another way that y'all can help is writing an evergreen letter of support for Show Me Green Schools that we can just submit with our grant applications. Those are really powerful. So there's just, that's a really great way. And then, of course, we need sponsors. And I would be remiss not to thank, the sponsors that are on this slide. We've got Ameren, Block, ESCO Technologies, Corrigan Clark, ITEF, Innovative Technology Education Fund, St. Louis County Public Health, and then Children's Hospital. We've had a great BJC Children's Hospital. Like, we have room to grow. And so that would be another way that, especially as we bring in more for-profit businesses. But I see a lot of support from nonprofits to other nonprofits. And I think that's, what's the saying about, lifting all boats? I can't think of the saying, but anyway, I just know that like the more we support each other, the more this all snowballs. So yeah, so there's so many options, and you can go back down to the next to the last slide, Tori, and I think we're about to wrap pretty soon our speaking, and we'll get to hearing from you all. All right. So I think, Deborah, do I throw this back to you to
Just
wrap us up?
briefly, yeah, this is
Sure.
just our favorite screenshot here of how you can be involved, and really, figure out what works for your organization or for you as an individual, how you can, serve as a part of the Green Schools Quest, just a connector and a networker for us, as an advocate on more of a policy level, or becoming a funding collaborator. And I actually really love how Leslie has mapped out all these different options, because it's not just, asking money, please. This is really meant to be a relational part of our organization. And these funding opportunities where we get to partner are very special, because it leads to an expansion of our programs, and it really helps us diversify what we offer to children. And children deserve our very best, and we can't give them our very best without our partners, because we're just one voice, and we need all of your voices in this work. So we're gonna rest here. We have one last slide for us, which is our poll, and I think, Leslie, you're gonna give a little explanation of that.
Sure. So Tori, yeah, you're gonna, I guess, activate the poll in a second. But what we would love for you all to do is, this is just a chance for you to share with us, what can you actually today say that you can do, right? And so I think it's 6 questions. So if you want to just go ahead and please fill that out, and then during that time, I invite everybody to just take their mics off of mute and popcorn style, what ideas do you have? Or throw them in the chat if you're not able to do that. But I mean, if you have ideas of things that were sparked because of this meeting, or if there was, I always like I'll put it in the chat, I like guidance sometimes, the Northeast Southwest acronym. So if you use that for what is new, exciting, surprising, or worrisome, like maybe reflect on that and take yourself off mute to get us hearing from you before we wrap this up.
Can folks access the poll? Is it coming up?
Yeah, it looks like we've got people, like 4
Yes.
people in there so far.
Yeah, great.
Thank you all so much for that. That's amazing. And I see some people saying, we want to become a Quest mentor. So that's really cool. That's a huge win right there. Nobody wants to say anything, huh?
Oh, come on, Leslie, I actually sent you a chat in the chat.
Oh, shoot. I cannot multitask.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. So we have Seed Your Future as a national organization, and in Missouri, we have 405 educators. I looked in the CRM really quick to see. So I'd love to be able to get them all of the program information, but then also send them Deborah's contact information.
Yeah.
They can reach her out. So that's something that we can do immediately.
That's awesome. Yes. Yes, that's exactly it, y'all. Like, telling you where we are ready to we are ready to expand. It's awesome.
Hi, everybody. this has been great for me because I've been stuck at the micro level so long. And the old Eisenhower quote is, the way you solve the problem is to make it bigger. And so, you know, not to invoke a rivalry, but the west half of Missouri is way behind. And
Right?
so I've got some ideas about my home school district in Lee Summit. With my job at Missouri Organic, I'm working with several other Kansas City school districts with all kinds of things, but um, we can push out the Green School Network as an option for them. And my
That's excellent.
mentorship has not landed very well because it was all virtual and with those schools on the east side. And so now, now I
Yeah.
need to land a school I can actually physically help with. But
Yep.
yeah, you've opened the door here. Watch out.
Yay.
Oh,
And thank
our
you,
other thing
because
is
I've been dying for an excuse to come to Kansas City and get barbecue recently. So please, like, get us some KC schools so that I can justify a work trip there.
yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to mention, and I threw it into the chat, was a press release about the our fourth year of funding with the Kansas Department of Health and Environment with our compost curriculum called Food to Good to Waste Science Unit. It's written with the next generation science standards embedded in the lessons. It's been extremely successful. We've got 12,000 students that have been through it in the
Yep.
last 4 years. So
Yeah.
we've got some recent and personal experience with getting composting going in schools.
Yep. And this is the kind of thing that's on the partner networks, that the searchable database on our website. So you can go in and look for compost and you can find what Stan's got on offer.
I was curious if Lindbergh schools are involved. My kids go to Crestwood Elementary.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Paul,
Yeah.
definitely. We love Lindbergh. Lindbergh is expanding like crazy. They are doing
Yeah.
so much work on their campuses. It's kind of nuts, honestly, what they're doing, in a great way. So we do have many Lindbergh schools that are involved, but not the entire district yet. And so we want more. We want basically that entire district to come on board, similar to how University City and Parkway have done that, because there's so many pockets of Lindbergh, incredible things happening, and they could be even more expansive as a whole district, because they're really leading the charge in that particular area of St. Louis.
So Crestwood Elementary in particular, because I have
Yes.
3 kids there. So
Crestwood is involved, but they have only been involved by one grade level at a time. And so
Okay.
it might be a good opportunity for them to become a whole school sustainability project. So that might be a really good opportunity. Maybe you and I can connect about how to reach out to the principal and or the teachers who have been involved in the past. I think would be a really good thing to say, hey, why are we only doing one class at a time or one grade level at a time when the whole school could be involved?
Okay, yeah, let's connect about that.
Absolutely.
There's
And
a,
also,
oh, I was just
sorry,
gonna say, there's a question in
ahead.
the chat asking if there's a flyer to share for specifically aim to get schools involved.
Yes, I will put it, I will put a link to it in the chat. Just give me one moment.
Thanks, Deborah.
I wanted to share that Missouri Department of Conservation has free curriculum to do nature education, connect with science for students. And so I put that link in the chat. It is free to any Missouri school, homeschool, all the resources are available. So please check that out.
Yeah. Wendy, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes, because Mia has worked so much with MDC since I started here, and even like long before they helped us get started back in the 90s. We were under them for a little tiny while. But now we are really like, again, it's this 5-year mark. We are ready to take off, and things with MDC are now like really in a big way overlapping with, you know, some of our outreach strategies for Show Me Green schools, and trying to like help one another again meet our missions. So it's so cool.
Yeah,
for me, yeah, really excited to learn more about the program. I met Leslie earlier this year. I work for Bayer. My name's Josh Vanderwall. I also am a long time ago, I was an ag educator, high school ag teacher also for a couple of years. So really got a lot of passion about this topic, and I think it's really cool what you're working on here. So I specifically am interested in potentially the mentor, and then also Leslie and I have chatted a little bit about the regenerative ag curriculum also for schools. That fits really nicely into what Bayer is working on also with farmers. And so, yeah, really excited to learn more and how we can work together and help this organization out and the schools.
That's so exciting. And yeah, y'all, I reached out to Josh about like a regenerative ag project for Mia, but Show Me Green Schools infiltrates everything I do. So I couldn't help but be like, you should just come to this because it's really awesome.
I'd say one of the things that Forest Relief of Missouri is working on is our statewide regional deliveries. A lot of our trees go to the St. Louis region, but in partnership with MDC, we are a statewide organization. So this year, in partnership with Spire, Amazon, and a lot of municipalities out there, we're delivering around 2,000 different trees, but I would love to get schools involved with this. So we have deliveries across the state, Northwest, Northeast, the western part, the southern part of Missouri. And so any way we can spread the word about some of these green schools that want to get trees as part of their planting, I would love to help them with that project or show them how they can access these trees.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Forest Relief provides free trees for public spaces. So, municipalities and schools, and that's why schools are a great repository for their trees.
Bonnie had a really good question in the chat. She said, how much is the partner directory shared with schools? We are in the directory, but we don't really get requests from schools. Not sure how much visibility partners and their resources get. This is a really good question. And Leslie,
Awesome.
I'd like to hear your thoughts also. I just want to say, going forward, our plan for the school year, when we have our Green Schools Quest opening, our like grand opening, the partner network is front and center at that time, or will be at this upcoming school year, because so many schools, they need more than just a mentor. They really do need expertise. And so sharing that partner network and helping them understand how to use the partner network directory will be one of our events at the beginning of the year. And then it'll also be integrated every single, like basically every month, they'll have a meeting with me where the partner network directory is like, again, pushed and pushed. Like, what resources do you need? Look at all these people that are connected to us. And that's just for the Quest, but Missouri Green Schools, I think the Missouri Green Schools, in my mind, actually need the partner network even more than the Quest, because the Quest is a one-time project and can be very short-term. Whereas MGS schools, you're involved. This might be a multi-year project. This might be a very complex project. And so my plan moving forward with them, because I'm taking that program from Leslie this year, so this is like our transition period. My plan is to have an entire meeting just understanding how to use the partner directory, because there's so many great resources within the partner network, and helping them understand what can they do with you as an organization and how can they find you and reach out to you. So Leslie, you might also have a different answer to that.
No, that's great, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, this even popped into my mind today during this meeting, was like, this would be a great time before you all leave to share, like, hey, would you, what do you think about Bonnie's idea? Because to me, as I take on the partner network role and really make that my primary focus in terms of Show Me Green Schools, yeah, how can I help spread the word to our schools about what you all offer? How can I help you all collaborate more amongst each other? I mean, this is not just about Mia's mission and GBC's mission, right? This is about like helping all of us have our resources utilized as much as possible. So yeah, let me know in the chat or send me a message, because it's really literally, I came back from vacation and Deborah and I were like, okay, let's figure this out. Now that you've been in your role a while and I know my capacity without our AmeriCorps Vistas, let's figure this out. Who's going to do what? And so I'm really excited about the fact that I can really put my mind on this. So I am like ripe for the hearing right now. And with that, go
I was
ahead.
going to share an idea.
Please.
I don't know, like maybe it's, I don't know, there's something that's already built into your schedule or something like that, but maybe like a place for all the partners to have a booth, and all of the schools can kind of visit the booths and understand what what everybody does offer or something. I don't know. Because it helps to connect names with faces. Like if a school is just reading through that directory and they don't know somebody personally at one through those resources, they're not going to reach out. Well, they're more likely to reach out if they've been able to connect a name to a face or something like that. I don't know. Just kind of creating those opportunities might be helpful.
Bonnie and Beth, your ideas combined are so essential for a statewide program that also includes Southern Illinois. Beth in the chat said maybe a virtual booth session,
Yeah.
because we've heard feedback from our committee members that we need to make this as inclusive as possible for the whole state, so that they don't see this as a St. Louis program just because Leslie and I live in St. Louis. And we really don't want this to be a regional thing. This is the state of Missouri and Southern Illinois, and we want everyone to feel welcome. And so I do think that it would be an incredible event. And Leslie, I think that we need to make a note of this, to have kind of a virtual walkthrough of our partner directory and say, here's what's available to you. And we could have breakout rooms and all, we can do that in a great way. And then the other thing that I would like to offer to our partners this year is to invite them to the annual Green Schools event, because that's an in-person celebration. It's also a great way to understand your impact, because you actually see kids and you see them cheering for other kids and for their own projects, and you get to meet their families, and there's also free food. So a wonderful reason to come. And Jill, you have your hand up and a thought.
It was something that we put together a few years ago in conjunction with the conference, and it was having like a hub and spoke model where we could take a central location like Columbia and try to engage people in the surrounding area to get together in person. And in that situation, we actually hosted field trips, and we went to the farmers market and got a tour. We went out and saw Mike Sladowski and got to meet all the chickens that were being raised in his school's courtyard, and just doing those site visits and really connecting with people in your area. I thought it's just one way of virtual's great, but at some point it's nice to have that interaction in person.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, I would love to meet with all of you in person at some point. There's no substitute. But do any of the other co-hosts want to say anything? At this point, I think it'd be a great time to go ahead and let people out just a few minutes early, because a 90-minute meeting is a long one virtually. So thank you all so much for coming. I am really, really jazzed right now, because it's hard to feel what people are thinking in a virtual meeting. Sometimes it's hard to get the vibe, but I feel like this, it was great to get to listen to some of your voices here towards the end. And I'm just so thankful that you made the time today, and we are looking forward to talking to you all more soon.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all.
Trying to read all the chat.
I can send it.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
So long.
Wow. Leave meeting.